Good morning. This is Abigail Barella with Sparkle and Shine Guidance. It's pretty dark back here, and my computer has a. Let's see if I can. Oh no, they don't have the sun. I like to put the sun on. Nope, not gonna happen. Okay, it's just gonna be dark back here. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the astrology this week. So if you don't know, my name is Abigail Barella, and I'm going to turn the light on back here. Is that, that's a little bit better. Okay, so it's summertime, but it's pretty dark. So let me start again. Okay, this is Abigail Barella with Sparkle and Shine Guidance, and I wanted to talk about the astrology this week, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the eclipse cycle and retrograde cycle that we're in, and I also wanted to talk about when things start going direct or when things start shifting, because a lot of people have been asking. And so we'll start with where we're at right now. We are about to have the first quarter moon. We are in the moon is in Scorpio right now. So we had the new moon in Leo, which means the first quarter moon is going to be in Scorpio. Both of those are fixed signs. And then as we move forward into Virgo season, which starts on the 23rd, then we will be in Virgo, and then the full moon is in Pisces. So it's kind of an interesting cycle. We're starting with the fixed energy, which is very stubborn. And this whole summer has been about breaking open stuck and rigid energies. If you haven't felt that way, a lot of us, the things that we're most stubborn about, or the things that we find hardest to change, has been unearthed. And so that's how we're starting the cycle, with that fixed energy. And then as we get to the full moon, it moves into mutable, which is where the change happens, right as we're getting closer to fall season. So Virgo time comes, and I'll talk more about this, but Virgo time comes at a time when we're transitioning from summer to fall, as you might be feeling with, although all summer long I feel like I've been saying, oh, it's cloudy here. But you know, the leaves, if you're out hiking, you start to notice more leaves crunching below your feet, and the crops and the vegetables and the gardens are really needing to be harvested, and it's time to sort through, and that's Virgo season. So we still have a good almost a week until Virgo season. So I really want you to utilize, I know you're feeling, a lot of us are feeling that pressure to start working and moving some things forward, but we are still in a retrograde cycle, and we are still in Leo season, which is all about exploration, play, and creativity. And so we have to balance these things and not be too hard on ourselves. The other thing that's coming into play, speaking of the retrogrades, is Mercury still retrograde and Mars is retrograde. Mars just moved, its retrograde cycle went from Aquarius, which is all about intelligence, the mind. Mars definitely feels more at home being not that Mars feels at home anywhere retrograding, but in Aquarius it's more at home than in Capricorn, and we did just have it move into Capricorn, which is typically uncomfortable. So if you're feeling just really hard on yourself, that's Mars retrograde in Capricorn. Once it goes direct, which will be on August 27th, once it goes direct, you'll feel this relief and this action forward. So really that first week of August 24th through the 30th is a really opportune time to move things forward. And we will get that energizing yet wacky full moon in Pisces. And I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I want to bring up what's interesting about this cycle. Well, first, let me finish my thought with Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde will go direct on August 19th. So that's the day that Mercury goes direct. And it's going to be so when a planet is retrograding, it appears as though it's moving backwards. So we count it as moving back through the degrees instead of moving forward through the degrees. So when it's retrograding, it's moving back. And then when it goes direct, it has to go back over all of that land, that space, that time, that reality that it traveled back through. So it's really when they go direct, for that first week especially after they go direct, that you'll start to notice aha moments, things moving forward that you thought were just stuck and forever staying the same. And yeah, so that Mercury retrograde, thankfully, will end on the 19th, and it's in Leo as well. So just we're still having lots of Leo influences, and it's all about the heart center and creativity, play, the muse. It's about romance. It's about just inspiration and courage to move things forward, or to really put yourself out there. Leo's kind of the letting the freak flag fly. That is the commonality of the polarity of Leo and Aquarius, is just not really caring as much what people think and really putting your stuff out there in a way that you just don't care as much as some of the other signs. Okay, so that's exciting, and so that's the retrogrades. And then I wanted to talk about this first quarter moon because it is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is death, transformation, it's alchemy, it's exciting. And we have Jupiter in Scorpio, and Jupiter in Scorpio is only going to be in Scorpio for a little bit longer until the fall. And so this is really a powerful time. We had a few other transits activating through Leo, activating this Jupiter in Scorpio. But the moon, our emotions coming up and conjuncting Jupiter in Scorpio, is really expanding on this like inner landscape and what needs metamorphosis, what needs change. And so it's an exciting time, and we want to look back to our intentions from the new moon, and at this weekend just being aware things might get deep, things might feel again emotional, because anytime we have these influences from the water signs, we might notice more emotions, intuition, spiritual influences. Okay, so it's not just bad, it's more of the feminine. And we have with Leo and Scorpio, we have that masculine and feminine, and so it's really important to look at both, moving things but also giving space and letting yourself feel things. Okay, so that's the first quarter moon, and typically things around other people will come up, relationships, issues with romance, issues with communication, and that because Mercury is retrograde as well. And so anything heart-centered because it's Leo, but also the depth and the transformation and bringing it to the surface, which is Scorpio. Well, and it's very interesting to have a water first quarter moon, and then we're going to have a water full moon. It's a lot of water. And thankfully, the water and fire is the most intense, and that's right now. And then as we move towards the Virgo time, which is more of the footing below us, the earth, the grounding, will feel definitely a lot more grounded, a lot less scattered, a lot of people are talking about, just where did the time go today, or I'm not focused. That's a little bit of Leo. I know that well. And as we move into Virgo, we'll feel a little bit less of that. Now, that doesn't mean that the Pisces full moon isn't intense. It is, and it typically is most intense for people who have planets in Pisces, or one of their 4 directions is set to Pisces. So you want to know where Pisces is in your chart. If you know you have a lot of Pisces energy, if you know you have a lot of water influences in your chart, this is a great time to get a chart reading. I'm available for that, and you can just click the link in my profile. And just in general, this is a great time to learn about healing modalities. As I said, and you can go into my YouTube, and if you're not already on the YouTube, and look at my Jupiter in Scorpio video, and I'm talking a lot about learning different healing modalities, diving in, choosing the right teachers for these modalities, because trust and issues around just trust can be up in Scorpio, and so you want to make sure you have the right teachers, but this is the time to learn. And so that's why I'm personally launching more classes as we move into September. If you're interested in any of those, make sure you're on my Moon Oracles list, because this is the time to learn, and this is the time to dive in. And we only have Jupiter and Scorpio for a little bit more until deep into the fall, but we want to really utilize this time for learning and growing, and the alchemy that's available to us. So healing modalities, mysticism, and everything shamanistic, basically. So as we get this first quarter moon, you might notice things coming up that need to be looked at around those kind of things, but also, as I said, relationships. So the cycle, really, when we talk about eclipse season and everybody's like, oh, thank goodness it's over. Well, it's not completely over. I'll talk about something else that's going on that's affecting that, but until really we move into Virgo time and after this full moon, really. But it's definitely slowly lessening the intensity. The reason why it's also heated or intense is this portal is still open, the Lion's Gate, and it really is exact when Leo is in the sun is in Leo, the sun is in 27 degrees of Leo. So that will be, I should have that date, but it might even be on my brother's birthday, which is the 21st. But probably more towards the 19th or 20th, which is when Mercury goes direct. Okay, I don't know the exact time, but I can share that in the comments. But that's when the portal is completely open and the sun, our conscious awareness, is trining this galactic center, which is giving us all these downloads and information. So when this portal's open, it feels a little wonky, a little wacky. It's not as grounded, like I said. And so just being aware that that is happening and using your meditation practice, using writing, using art, using expression to really get these downloads. I'm really all about getting all of this goodness while it's here at our fingertips, okay? So there's a reason why we're in this time period, and we don't want to waste this time wishing it wasn't here. We really want to utilize and activate and heal and do the work while this opportunity is available. So it's definitely a great time to work with me. I will be in Portland, although I only have one spot available tomorrow if you're interested in it, and that's Friday the 17th. But I do have openings for distance work next week. So see if you're interested in getting a chart reading or an intuitive healing session or a combination of the both, then reach out. And I hope you guys have a beautiful week. And if you want more information in your inbox, make sure you're signed up for my Moon Oracles list. And I think that's it. I'll be on next week talking about the full moon more in depth.